Hi guys, Ancient Warrior. Welcome back to Prepping in Free America. If you like what you hear here, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be the first kid on your block to know what craziness I'm talking about next, hit the bell icon with all. I really hadn't planned on doing a video today, but I've been seeing here of late, excuse me, my nose itches. I must be coming into money. I've been seeing of late, last couple of months, I've seen a lot of videos from big channels, medium-sized channels, small channels like mine, and channels even smaller than mine, which is hard to believe, that if you don't do this or that, you aren't going to survive. One channel even suggested that it was too late to start prepping. I've been doing this probably longer than just about most of you. I grew up, my grandparents who helped raise me, my grandfather had a small business that his father started back in the 1800s. And that fateful day in October of 29, he watched a lot of stuff go by the way, but their business didn't. It continued to grow. But my grandfather and grandmother both, they didn't go with what you'd call real hungry. But Grandma one time said that they did without a lot of things that they really enjoyed. And during the Depression of 29, a series of lies got started. And they're still being used today. That's another video. We'll discuss that in another video. My grandparents were what they called it in those days after the Depression during World War II. My grandparents were called stockpilers because they were always stockpiling stuff. Hell, Grandpa'd go hunting and Grandma'd can the meat. Grandpa'd go salmon fishing. Grandma would can the meat. Or they'd smoke it. I think if Grandma could have found a way to make her own chocolate bars, she would have done it. That was her one thing she loved more than anything, was chocolate bars. Even up to the day she died, she had to have her chocolate bars. And I'm trying to remember the name of the ones that she liked so well. Had raisins in it and stuff, and big thick things. And she loved it. Is it too late to start prepping? No, by no means. Are we on the verge of war? Maybe. I don't know. But I'm going to prep like we are. I'm going to stack it from the floor to the ceiling. I'm going to make sure I've got water in the house. I'm going to make sure I've got other things in the house. Now I want to tell you a funny story. This last weekend in Texas, apparently you could buy preparedness items tax-free. Just one minor little catch. The government forgot to tell anybody about it. Or if they did, I sure as heck didn't hear about it. I was really pissed when I found out about it. But I probably wouldn't have run out and bought a bunch of stuff anyway. Is it too late? No. Gee, Ancient, how do I start prepping? Well, one of the best things in the world you can do is decide what your family needs to survive. And I hate the term survive. You know, I'll tell you right now, I hate that term more than anything because it's not right. We're not trying to survive. We're trying to continue to live a life. You know, during COVID in 2020, Mother and I did not change a thing. We had our steaks. We had our pork chops. Once a week or once every couple of weeks, depending on what Mom wanted. I'd fire the grill up and I'd do ribs. But the catch here is, ladies and gentlemen, and it's really funny, is because we were prepared. You know, I'm out here in the shed, and I'll be honest with you, I don't worry about stuff. If you were to look around this shed, you'd find I'm pretty well stocked up on a lot of things. The only things out here in this shed are stuff that heat and cold won't affect. Everything else is in the house. Is it too late to start prepping? No. Today's a great day to start prepping. If you and your better half or significant other or whatever it is you have, your pet Chihuahua or German Shepherd or what, decide on what you need. And don't buy crap because you hear me say it or somebody else say it. You know, I was talking to a couple here a while back. That's almost a year now. They were throwing out a bunch of stuff that was still good. And I asked them why they was getting rid of it. He said, we don't eat this kind of stuff. He said, no matter what. And his wife looked at me and says, I don't know how to cook it. Really? Did you forget YouTube? YouTube will teach you a lot of things. So I talked them into keeping it. And I went over and taught them how to cook beans and rice, Ancient Warrior style. That means it has lots of onions in it, maybe a little bell pepper, and oodles and noodles and boodles of noodles of bacon. I like my meat in my... That's the one thing my grandmother never put enough of. She never put enough meat in it. But You know, folks, don't buy ramen noodles if you don't eat ramen noodles. Don't buy pasta if you don't eat pasta. Beans and rice, don't buy it if you don't eat it normally. Now me, I got beans, rice, I got red beans, kidney beans. I've got jasmine rice. I got all kinds of rice. I even got sticky rice, which is a booger to make. But you know what, folks? I eat that kind of stuff. Actually, I eat anything that won't eat me first. Folks, now is the time to start preparing. Am I going to fearmonger? Yeah, let me fearmonger here a little bit. We have the Iranians right now who are harassing 2 Coast Guard cutters in the Mediterranean. What will it take to get a war going? Very damn little. Just one person make the wrong move. We got the Chinese, snake eyeing the Taiwanians, and the Japanese are sitting there just kind of keeping their eyes peeled because they know the fight's coming. They just don't know when. We've got the Russians who are looking at the Ukrainians and licking their lips. We've got the Middle East looking at Israel and licking their lips. We've got just about every major volcano in the world right now is either gurgling, bubbling, or spewing. The Ring of Fire, they say right now, is lit up like a Christmas tree. We have cities right now that are, after it starts getting dark, it's unsafe to walk through them. Blue Healer just came in and wanted to say hi. We've got cities that, you know, just unsafe to be in. I was listening to a lady in, I believe it was New York City's where she was at, and she flat said it. She said she's terrified to go out at night. We've got citizens in San Francisco, Asian American citizens, who know it's not safe for them to go out. So yes, now's a good time. Stock up on non-perishables, canned goods. And, you know, folks, please don't be one of those that reads the best used date and says, oh, after that we got to throw it out. No. I got stuff in my cabinet right now that's almost 4 years out of date. Matter of fact, I opened a can of pork and beans yesterday that was 5 years out. And I had a hamburger for supper last night. hamburger patty and cheese. And you know what? Those pork and beans were great. Heated them up a little in the microwave, and oh man. You know what? Whoever invented pork and beans is a genius. He's a god among men. Or at least with me he is, because guess what? I like pork and beans. So folks, when you hear these channels saying if you don't do this now or that now, or don't have this piece of equipment or that piece, just remember, every one of these channels is somebody's opinion. My opinion is that you got time, but you need to get started. You know, it kind of reminds me of the story about the woman. She'd go every evening at night, she'd go get out on her knees by the side of her bed, and she'd pray to God. Oh God, please let me win the lottery. This went on for several months. And then one night she's sitting there and she's a lot more tired than usual. She gets down on her knees and she says, oh God, please let me win the lottery. All of a sudden she hears this quiet, simple voice saying, would you please buy a ticket? Folks, there are some things you got to do to help yourself. Prepping is it. So, with that being said, I'm the Ancient Warrior. Remember, it's better to have this equipment, not need it, than need it and not have it. I'm out.